So this week, we are going to talk about a staple of Powersports repair. What is it? Roll the intro, we'll find out. Hey everyone, it is Josh at Motorcycle and Powersports News. Thanks for tuning back in this week. Well, what do we have going on that's a staple of the powersports industry? Well, this being 14 years old, I'm actually pretty surprised that the seat covers held up pretty well. We're gonna go ahead and replace it anyways. And yes, that involves a stapler. So that's one of the projects that we're taking on today. The other one, as we get into the cooler weather, I'm a freeze baby. I want warm hands. So we're gonna go ahead and install the heated grips on this today. First things first, let's get the seat popped off. Bronco ATV and UTV sent us this brand new seat cover, which we're gonna put on this seat. That being said, we're gonna pop it off. We're gonna take it all over the workbench. So seat cover's out. I'm matching it up to make sure that, yes, this is the right seat cover and it's gonna fit, and we're in business with that. That being said, we've got a couple of wrinkles in it here from it being folded up in the packaging. While we remove the old seat cover, we're gonna let this thing do a little sun tanning, and that should help smooth this out, make it a little bit more pliable. So I'm gonna take that. As soon as we're done with that, as soon as we take that outside, we have to pull out all the staples along the edge of the seat here. That will allow us to pull the old cover off. We're gonna reuse the foam that's already in here. As soon as we get that all done, new cover goes on. Now that I'm pretty sure I've got all the staples out, I go ahead and just peel the cover off. And at that point, you find the one staple that you probably missed. But I'm pretty sure I got them all, so let's see here. Like I said, you find the one that you missed. Interestingly enough, it appears that someone made this home at some point. As we get ready to put the new one on, it's nice because it's got the pockets sewn in here that'll obviously go around this edge. This will fold just over the top. That seam that you see here will run just right along this top edge here with that. Now that being said, what we'll do is we'll spread the cover out on it. We'll start with a couple of staples here, and we'll just work our way around all the way to the back. Now in this, you want to make sure that you're usually keeping this tight, but not so tight that it's putting stress on the seat pan itself, because we don't want this plastic to be pulled apart or in or anything like that. So make sure that you get the cover on just tight enough that it lays on and it smooths itself out, and you should be good. So that being said, I'm gonna go to town. One staple in. Perfect. Now, we've got the seat cover on. But before we put the seat back on the quad, we're gonna put the heated hand grips on, because I'm pretty sure we're gonna need to get some electrical power from the battery. So let's take care of that one next. First thing I always like to do when it comes to an installation like this, especially with electrical items, is I wanna get everything out so I know what's plugging into where. So we've got the two grips here. This one's labeled as right, this one's labeled as left. We've also got a thumb heater, which will go in the thumb throttle. We've got our control module right here. So this is to let you know how much heat you're putting out. It also has 2 accessory outlets right down here also, if in case you want to add something else, be it heated vest or something of that nature. We have our main wiring harness, and thankfully all of these have connectors on that are labeled really well, so you know what's going to go to what. We've got our hardware, we've got our zip ties, and we've got some of the accessory outlets, even some of the Scotch connectors here. So that being said, the first thing that I'm going to start doing is let's go ahead and get this mounted up. The bracket, it comes in 2 pieces. So there's the bottom piece that goes around the handlebar here. There's the piece that is U-shaped that receives that part on the back here. Now, the reason why they do that is that way we can mount this whatever direction that we need to on the handlebars. So that way you can make sure that this control box faces you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this bolt through here. We're going to go ahead and put the other bolt and nut through the bottom here, and then we're just going to set it together and see where we want it and how it's going to fit on the handlebars. Then we'll go back, we'll tighten this down, we'll stick the other bolt through, and we'll have it mounted up. So there's a couple of things. We've got this mounted here. It's in an easy spot to see and reach. That way we can just push the button when we're there. I've taken a peek, and when you look at this, these are a hair shorter than this. So we're gonna need to move these controls in just a little bit, and I'll do that as I pull the old grips off. So those are the next steps with that. Now, in all that, the other thing that I'm looking at is how I'm gonna route all the wiring for it. So where's all this gonna go? This is our left side grip. So I'm gonna put this here. We'll probably put this, I think, on the bottom here, so it can run along with these wires here into the headlight assembly. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the headlight assembly apart so that way we can run the wires in there, have all these connectors inside there where it's protected from the weather, and get everything organized. After that, you come out of there, back to the battery. Now that I'm sure that I've got enough room here, what we need to do is we need to abscond with these grips here that a little crusty. They actually let me have a sharp object around here for once, which is kind of surprising. The easiest way to get old grips off, I've found, is literally just to run a straight line to cut them and then peel them off. Got the old grip off. I used brake cleaner. You can use brake cleaner, contact cleaner, anything like that. Just make sure that you have the handlebar surface here smooth. I mean, smooth, clean. You want all the old grip glue, anything like that off. Now, these have a plastic insert inside of them. It acts as an insulator because it makes it so it heats your hands instead of trying to heat the metal handlebar. That being said, these are actually, they go on really, really tight. So you want to start sliding it on and make sure you have the wires pointed in the right direction. So make sure the grip is clocked the correct way. So you start to put it on. Give it some twist. And once you get to a point where you're pretty well locked in and not making much more forward progress, you either want to use a dead blow hammer like this that has a big, like, soft surface on it, or you can take a block of wood and stick it here. But the rest of the way on, we're just going to go ahead and tap this on. There is a thumb heater for this, and this just sticks on, literally. It's got a nice 3M backing to it. Make sure you clean up the thumb throttle before you do it. We ran the wire back through this way to come up to put that on for you. If your hand's warm but your thumb's cold, you're still miserable. So this helps take care of that. So we've got all the wires up here by the handlebars. We'll route them here in a second once we get them all there and plugged in. We next want to make sure that we hook into the battery. Now this has a 5-amp fuse to it, which is really nice and handy, so that way you're not worried about having to go out and find something else on your own. This, with those Bronco battery terminals that we have before, should just go right on those. Now, to run this up front, I'm probably going to run it along the frame rail here, and up underneath this bodywork, I've got this panel off up front. Now, what's sometimes difficult in running stuff through bodywork like that is you either A, have to take the panel all the way off, or B, you have to find someone that's got really tiny hands or whatever to fish something through. Or C, you can find something that's a little stiffer and run it through. And then what I'm going to do with this is I will just tape these two items together, slowly pull it up and through, and now I've got the wires run in a spot that I can't see. Got that hooked up. I've actually used a test light, double check, make sure we had power up here. Got all the wiring set up down here, and it's tied up on the frame and up out of the way, so it's not going to be pinched or anything. All we have left to do is hook stuff up here, put the seat on. So we've got everything essentially routed, but I haven't zip tied all the rest of the stuff down yet because we want to plug it all in and make sure it works. So thankfully, these are all pretty self-explanatory. The R goes with the R, and these connectors only go together one way. So this has two tabs up here. Make sure that that matches with the two notches there. Plug it in. We're going to plug all these in. Then we're going to come back. We're going to test, make sure the module lights up, and we're going to make sure stuff gets warm. We're close. So now that we've got this plugged in and hooked up, it shows all 4 lights are lit up, and that is for the grips, the thumb, auxiliary 1 and auxiliary 2. With that, if we just push the up arrow, we are now controlling the heat for every single one of those, or the output for every single one of those. So now we've got it cranked all the way up. We'll give it a few seconds and we'll start to see if we feel a little bit warmer on here, just to make sure that we've got everything working right. And I can already feel it in my thumb, and I'm already feeling the grips get warm too. So that is if you just want it all to be on one circuit there. So if you want to control just one function, all you have to do is push and hold the S for 3 seconds. The rest of the lights go out and grip is the only one that's lit up. Now I can individually adjust the level for the grip. If I want to change a different one, I just push S again, same thing. Now, if I want to go back to adjusting all of them, once again, I just hold it down for 3 seconds and we're back to all 3 of them. Shut it off, away we go. Between the seat and these heated hand grips with the heated thumb throttle there, I think we're ready for some plowing or for some other winter fun. That being said, make sure you guys are subscribed, make sure you like this. If you've got a question on the installation, by all means put it in the comments for us. Stay safe out there and we'll see you on the trail.